WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. You know, I heard one time that when you hear a helicopter overhead, chances are it's not the police looking for a bad guy. It's a trauma. They're actually bringing somebody from an accident or some kind of other traumatic event to one of the hospitals. Brittney Marthaller has been bringing us some really great guests for a few years now. She is the communications manager at Ocala Health, and she has invited Lieutenant Ryan Robbins to be in the studio with us. Lieutenant Robbins is the Public Information Officer for the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and he's here to talk to us about, among other things, Safe Driving Experiences, which is a free injury prevention event for drivers of cars, trucks, motorcycles, bicycles, and golf carts, which is happening on Friday, February 19th, from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the College of Central Florida across the street. Good morning, Brittney, and good morning, Lieutenant Robbins. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you, and if I turn your microphones on, I'll be able to hear you better. I could hear you through the set. So, yeah, is that true that when we hear helicopters overhead, chances are it's not you guys looking for a bad guy, it's you guys transporting, or somebody transporting somebody who's been injured?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll see the helicopters. Traumas also come in by ambulance as well, and you never know, what that is when you happen to see one. But a lot of things go on behind the scenes to communicate between the emergency personnel, the first responders, and our trauma center.
Wow.
So one of the things that we do, it's really our responsibility as a trauma center, is to look at some of the primary, what we call mechanisms of injury that we see, and then create an event to try to prevent some of these things from happening.
Wow. And some things look so avoidable. I was doing my laundry one time in the Villages at the laundromat, and there was an accident, and I went out to the street, and there was a boy laying on the street, and eventually a helicopter came and got him, and he hit his head on the street because he was riding in the back of a pickup truck. And I thought, geez, this could have been prevented, It's just one of those things, and we think that, the kids are going to have fun riding in the back, and then something horrible. I hope he is okay. I don't know, but it was one of those things. But you deal with this every day. I mean, what a job you've chosen to do, Lieutenant.
Yes, and driving is such, we were just talking about before we came in here, if you really stop and break down the thought of you're driving in a vehicle that weighs several thousand pounds going 60 to 80 miles per hour, inches away from another vehicle doing the same thing. That concept is really kind of will take your breath. So, and you can only control what's going on in your car.
Right.
And that's the thing. And that's
just
what
like your parents used to say, well, look out for the other guy. I know you're going to be safe, but look out for the other guy. And you do. You have to.
And that's speed. There's a road, they call it Osceola Parkway, but I think it's 32nd or 42nd, or it blends the two. Anyway, we saw a head-on crash. I don't know if they jumped the median or what happened. So the 40 miles an hour is the speed limit. Let's give them benefit of the doubt. But the two together, 80, right? When they came together, and they were both flat. The front of both vehicles were flattened out.
That's scary.
It was really scary, yeah. I mean, we don't need to tell anybody this stuff. Everybody knows this, but everybody thinks it's not going to happen to me.
Right. Well, that's complacency. I think you're right on target there. I mean, you're driving down the road and you get so lost into the mundane life every day of thinking about what you're doing to work, talking to kids, trying to put makeup on, things that have happened.
I know. I hate putting makeup on when I drive.
I totally understand. No, these are issues that it only takes a split second for it to change your life. So you can't really stop not bringing attention to how important it is to stay focused when you're driving.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what we're hoping that this event, although some people may just say, well, I'm a safe driver, and they just see the ad for the event, let's just say, and that's all that we get to them with. But we're hoping that people take the next step and come to the event. A lot of it is going to be a refresher for most people, but we're going to have a lot of interactive activities. I wanted to definitely mention the partners that we're working with, and a lot of them have a really neat interactive activities that they're planning. So we have our car fit, which is something that we do with where we have people bring in their vehicles, and we'll check their mirrors, check their seat to make sure that their vehicle and them are combining together for a safe
Okay,
experience.
okay.
We have the Florida Highway Patrol, and they're actually bringing a rollover simulator.
A what?
So
a rollover?
Rollover
You go in
simulator.
it?
So you sit in the cab of a vehicle.
I think they
Have you
placed.
been on this?
I have not.
Okay.
My understanding is it's like a crash test dummy in the vehicle, and when they turn it, you see what happens to that dummy
okay,
that's not wearing a
okay.
seatbelt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't get knocked around.
Yeah.
I watch a
You can
dummy
pay
get
extra
knocked.
for that, possibly.
Okay. We have the Florida Department of Health of Marion County, and they are working on an activity for reaction times, just to bring your awareness to.
Reaction times. I bet you I would fail that. I bet I would, the man. I'm going to do good, and then I wouldn't, right?
Yeah. So you'll have to come.
Yeah.
You'll have to come test it out. We have motorcycles are one of the primary areas that we see for motor vehicle collisions as well, and we have Harley-Davidson Riding Academy and Joe's Motorcycle Training, and Harley-Davidson Riding Academy is actually getting something from the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. It's called a Smart Trainer, and it's something that they use. It's electrical, and you sit on it, and it kind of shows you how you're driving and if you're leaning a certain way, and it's just something
really?
that they use to train. So
Really?
we're going to have that as something that you can test out and see how you do. We're also going to have Life Quest there, which is one of the partners that we work with in organ donation. And, of course, Marion County Sheriff's Office. So why don't we take this opportunity to talk about your
Yeah, we're going to
activities.
try to have a few objects out there, starting with our sheriff's office. We call it taxi. It's a half patrol car, half
Oh,
taxi.
yeah. Yes, I've
it's
seen
at
it.
a
Yeah.
lot of
It
events.
was in the parade.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's a great visual reminder that if you're drinking and driving, that it's just even financially
Right.
cheaper to spend the $20 for a taxi than potentially the $10,000 for the criminal
Absolutely.
process you may go through for a DUI.
Absolutely.
Of course, on top of that is the safety factor first and foremost. So, but we bring that out, and it's just a great, again, visual aid. We also will be bringing our mobile jail cell, which is pulled by our Hummer that has lots of crime prevention ads on it. The jail cell is a kind of a reminder also of where you could end up if you're drinking and driving, and the realization of what that would be like. We are trying to get a seatbelt simulator that our Teen Driver Challenge uses here in town. You actually sit in a seat and you'll slide down a mechanism that kind of feels what it would be like to be jolted if you're struck in a vehicle.
Oh, wow.
So that is something we're still working on also. But we're going to have a DUI specialist out there talking about driving safety, and we're looking forward to it. It's a very important event.
Yeah. Do you know when we studied to do what I do, especially the news part, not this part so much, but the news part, you have to always ask yourself the question, this news item that I'm mentioning, how does the listener use that news? Don't use it if they can't use it in some way, in other words. So once there was a story, and it wasn't from our community, I think it was from Tampa, and it was a little girl who died because her daddy bought one of those little pools,
Plastic swimming
a plastic
pool.
swimming pool, put it in the back of the pickup truck. She was so excited she wanted to ride in the pool in the back of the pickup truck, get in the pool before they got home. And the wind from the drive lifted it, and she was thrown into the street. Okay, it's sad story. So why do I use it? How do the listeners in Ocala use that information? And I decided to have that story in the news for one simple reason. Because that was such an innocent mistake. Horrible, but innocent. And somebody else here might be thinking, oh, that'd be cool. Let's go to Walmart, get a pool. And yeah, you can ride in the back. But just by telling that story, I thought, well, maybe somebody won't do that. And that sounds like what you're doing, actually, with this event, is to show us what could happen, God forbid.
Right, the reminders of what safety truly means. So one of the great things that Marion County Sheriff's Office, they have their crisis intervention, and a lot of times, innocent mistakes, as you say, or the choices that people make, the aftermath of it, and you don't always realize how many people that's actually going to affect.
Yeah,
So you guys are coming on the scene. and
Yeah.
helping to.
A traffic accident can be a devastating event in someone's life emotionally, surely, and physically. So we try to provide that service to have someone there. Highway Patrol works traffic accidents in Marion County, and the city of Ocala works them in the city limits. So the sheriff's office really is just a responder to help with immediate needs. But we will stay on scene as long as needed to help those departments and provide even aid, emotionally for those who are going through something very traumatic.
We need to take a little break, and we'll be right back. We'll give you more information about the event, and do that when we come back. This is The Source, WOCA.
Enrich your life at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club. Here, century-old oak trees surround stunning homes, the finest resort-style amenities, and a stately clubhouse. Our exceptional golf course will host the 2016 Coates Golf Championship presented by R&L Carriers. And here you can savor a luxurious lifestyle that's second to none. Call 352-369-6969 for more information on our available real estate options and to schedule a home tour.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Put your money to work. Florida Credit Union has a money market special, 1% APY until December 31st, 2016. That's right, through December 31st, 2016. $50,000 minimum balance to open and earn dividends. On January 1st, 2017, the account reverts back to a normal account at current rates. Federally insured by the NCUA, Florida Credit Union, enriching people every day. Visit one of Florida Credit Union's convenient locations today or their website, www.flcu.org.
Offer ends February 28th, 2016. All right, 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Brittney Marthaller is in the studio from Ocala Health, and Lieutenant Ryan Robbins is here with her. They are talking about an injury prevention event for all of us, anybody who drives a vehicle. And I want to make sure we throw in golf carts, because a lot of times people who get those golf carts, it's a play thing. It's not a real car. You won't really, you're not really in any risk of danger. So.
Yeah, and the top vehicle injuries that we saw in 2015 were motor vehicles, motorcycles, bicycles, pedestrians,
Bicycles, okay.
ATVs, and golf carts.
Really?
So we're trying to help with all of those. But I did want to pick off where Lieutenant Robbins left off with the community, and how our trauma center wanted to create this event as bringing the community together, because we can't do what we do and take care of the people that we take care of without our emergency and first responders.
Absolutely.
It's a community effort. So we do have a couple other of our partners I did want to mention. Ocala Fire Rescue, and something interesting that they're doing actually for cyclists. They have these, they're called Management Information Carrier System. It's a sticker that if you have any medical conditions or anything that you want to list, it goes inside your helmet. So if something were to happen, it's another way to get that information to the emergency personnel. We'll have Ocala Police Department there. We'll also have Florida Department of Transportation, their Safe Mobility for Life Coalition. So one of the great things that they do as well is it's called transition from driving. And so I'm sure you've seen with caregivers of older drivers, and at what point do you step in and recommend
a tough one,
that they have an alternate form of transportation?
Yeah.
And so they're going to be talking about that. We're also going to have Suntran there as well as another form of transportation. And I did also want to mention that CF is partnering with us, and they're helping as a public service, helping us to communicate this to.
A lot of people coming together to help support this, right?
Yeah.
And we all benefit from it. As Lieutenant Robbins was saying, the trauma center being in town has helped us.
Absolutely. From the law enforcement's perspective, being able to have our victims or witnesses of crimes being here locally for us to access and speak to them and help them instead of making that journey to Gainesville is just a huge benefit to this community.
That's awesome.
When the people come to the event, will you have like a docent tour where you'll take groups along a certain path to make sure they see everything, or can the people that see that choose what they want to be involved with?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because we're actually, it's a walkthrough type of event, and we're kind of calling it, you have your tour stations. And so upon checking in, you'll receive a little layout, a map of where each thing is, and then you can go around to each of the stations, and they'll check off that you've been there. You have your little your little card there, and then you'll turn in at the end, and we'll do some drawings and things like that. But it's just to get people engaged because as we were talking about before, you have doing what's right and what's safe, and then sometimes you have to have an incentive with that, or the reverse side, you have to have some sort of an enforcement that goes along with it. Seatbelt safety.
No one likes getting a ticket, that is for sure.
Yes.
But it is a healthy reminder
Yes.
of following these rules that protect everyone.
Sure. How many people who got tickets actually had their lives saved because it was like a wake-up call?
It's hard to measure that, but you would believe that is the case.
I'm very grateful that you give tickets. I think my son was speeding for a while, and he would tell me, I got a ticket, so please don't speed. And I think he stopped, so, yeah.
Hopefully he didn't get too many of those wake-up calls.
When you see something, Lieutenant Robbins, and you see a person driving erratically, it must be nerve-wracking on your part because you have to make sure you stop that person safely, but then everybody else that's involved in that area. How do you handle something like that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you see a vehicle and you believe that it's a danger to the person in the vehicle or others, we need to stop that vehicle. And it doesn't always mean a traffic citation. In fact, it's very minimum times that we do that. Mostly we're checking on the person inside the vehicle. Could be a verbal warning or written warning. But there's a great responsibility to make sure that person is healthy. Sometimes they don't have any intentions of doing something wrong. They're literally having a medical issue. They don't know unless we pull them over and check them out. How many times we've pulled someone over and found out they're having a medical issue, call for medics. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it occurs quite often.
So, a public information officer question. I've been doing this for a long time. So, when I started, there was no internet, there was no smartphones, and basically, your relationship with the media was, well, obvious. I mean, you would give us the information, and we would repeat it. Do we, as average citizens, have something we can, like an app or something, where we can now get information? Like, do you release that information to, I don't know, to a website or something?
Well, we do have a Sheriff's Office website. It's currently under construction, and we're really upgrading it right as we speak. And we're very active on Facebook right now to getting out the most current information possible to our citizens. It's been a fantastic tool in regards to identifying missing endangered people who could end up in the trauma center if we don't find them quickly, identifying suspects. The culture has changed completely because of social media, and the Sheriff's Office is no different, or in law enforcement, as we're adapting with it also.
Yeah, you've got to meet them where they are. Talk to them where they are.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Sorry to cut you off. The citizens are our eyes and ears. I mean, there's only so many deputies, so many places. So to have this information out there, another way to communicate faster, is amazing. So it helps the trauma center, helps law enforcement, helps everybody.
And do you, as a deputy, have to take different courses every year, or to keep your deputy status up? How does that happen?
FDLE, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, has training requirements for each deputy that they have to maintain so many hours of training to keep the certification up. Every agency goes above and beyond that, though, because of just so much that is expected of law enforcement officers nowadays.
So the main event that we're promoting today is called the Safe Driving Experience, and I guess you have outlined it pretty good for us. Again, it's Friday, February 19th from 10 a.m. till 2, right across the street at the college. And it sounds like a lot of agencies will be represented there.
Yes.
And let's see, that's a Friday. Let's see, 10 till 2. So we'll have to go over there after we're off the air.
Right.
We'll walk across the street.
That would be great.
We're trying to walk more. We're walking more. Yeah.
Are you going to have vendors with food and beverages there?
We're
or
gonna have refreshments there, yes. Yeah, we won't have outside vendors, but we will have refreshments there for everyone. And it's a completely free event. Like I said, we're hoping that as our community partners have come together, we're hoping that our community will come through for at least a brief time and come take a look and experience some of the things that we've put together.
Every once in a while there'll be a story about somebody on the highway who has like an old tire. And we don't have vehicle inspections anymore. So I wonder if that's ever going to come back, because that would prevent that, wouldn't it? If we could. Although people used to cheat too. They would get new tires from their friend and then
put them on.
Put their old tires back on after they've passed the inspection.
Yeah, there's a lot of different factors that go into vehicle injuries, and once it gets to that point, and just driving safety in general, because as we started talking at the beginning of the show, the distraction, being under the influence, being drowsy, having a medical condition. There's so many factors that go into it. I mean, also the vehicle safety as well is important, but ensuring that you're at least in the best condition and the best mindset possible to be operating a motor vehicle.
And as a public information officer, how do you cull through everybody that calls you to report different things that are going on that they want to get out there in the news?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
Because there are individuals in neighborhoods that kind of watch for different things, and then they must call you, and then they want you to make it news stories. How do you sift through all of that?
Well, definitely traffic complaints and speeders are one of our biggest complaints. So a lot of that's handled, we break it down throughout the community. The sheriff's office is broken down in different districts. We have district commanders, and those complaints will go out to those commanders who will try to personally go out and take care of those complaints. But if there is something, traffic, like there's going to be road construction or something that is coming up that's going to affect driving patterns, that affect the way people could potentially be in an accident, we usually communicate with FHP, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and we put out press releases on that.
One thing we don't have too much of is ice. Did you hear about the ice in D.C. this morning?
No.
All of a sudden, there was a sheet of ice and people were just sliding all over the place. Yeah, in D.C. Oh man.
Yeah.
Is that something else that you address during this tete-a-tete that you'll be having, is road conditions and how people should really be aware? They can't drive in the rain the same as they drive on sunny, dry days.
I don't know if we have.
Well, I'm sure it'll come up in
directly.
discussion with law enforcement officers as we speak to folks. I don't know if the simulating group has anything with their driving simulator that may affect weather, but it's absolutely a huge part of driving in regards to causing of accidents and issues on the roadway.
What statistically, I'm throwing you a curveball here, I guess, but is it the younger driver that's most likely to get in the wreck? It's the older one, isn't it?
It's really, I don't have that number.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
No. I just don't have that statistic, so I wouldn't.
Okay.
But I would say both are a concern in regards to young drivers who are not experienced and haven't grasped the responsibility yet of what could happen, and then of course elderly drivers who may have becoming impaired and not even realize that they are. So and we have a lot of both here in Marion County, so that's not a great combination.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in. It was nice to get to know you, and Brittney, as always, thank you for coming in. You want to give out your phone number, the nurse helpline?
If you want any other information about this event, it's a free event. You can come by on Friday, February 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you want any more information, it's 800-530-1188.
All right, excellent. Brittney and Lieutenant Robbins, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu.
How to get some rock salt?
If it clears off the snow, it's clearing out of stores quickly as a lot of East Coast shoppers brace for a storm.